So we've done the blues, now we're going to do the dark reds. Again, tree number 1, just a little hint. This is number 27, dark carmine, I believe it says. Can't really see it very well. And we've got some hints of red in the bank. And then on the tree trunk, so we had mostly blue, until we get to this point here, where the tree trunk starts to twist and bend. So here it starts on the left, it's going to pull a little bit to the right. So again, I'm just hinting at that, stabbing my way along the tree trunk, and it twists back, nice and broken. We're just hinting at a more solid form. Just following the line, that very first line we did. We're into the bottom of the canopy. So we jump, leave a gap, jump again, and we follow it off the page at the top. And on some of our branches, we've got little touches of this dark red. Okay, right, tree number 2. There's more red in the reflection. So we're down at the bottom, stabbing our way along. Comes right up to the riverbank. Little red being picked up. And then we had mostly blue at the bottom with some patches of this dark red creeping in. Again, we've got that twist going on with the tree trunk. So it pulls back to the right and then straightens. And we have patch of blue, patch of red, patch of blue, patch of red. And then as we get closer to the top, it's actually going to change to a more golden yellow. But if we look very carefully, we can see hints of this red where the trunks are caught in shadow. And that comes right the way up to where the tree forks. So the very top of the trunk splits in two. We have a very light yellow V here, and then the red just follows the fork on the right, same on the left. And it splits again, left and right. And we'll have a few hints of branch activity in there. Okay, tree number 3. A little bit more red at the bottom, stepping up that shadow. We get into the riverbank, picking up reflections there. Tree pops out from behind the riverbank, bushes in shadow. Most of the bottom part up to where it meets the light canopy is quite red, this reddy brown colour. We get quite a bit of blue in here, and as it exits, switch back to the red. So there's blue patch in there, back to the red. Just a few hints. Again, this is going to be lightened. So I just want a nice broken pattern following those original lines. And in this tree, we're going to split it. Our hints of branch. This part of the main trunk is actually quite light. Okay, that's tree 1, 2 and 3, tree 4 very central tree. Quite a lot of red in the reflection. So I'm stabbing along the reflection, coming up near the riverbank. A touch in the water, both sides. Then we have a blue gap, and then exiting the blue through the yellow. We have some dark red. And then, just as we're entering the bright canopy, switch back to red. And as we exit, a little more. This part is mostly yellow, and we can just add a few hints of branches in the top part of the canopy. Okay, so tree number 5, just a few hints of red down there, a little more as we move into the riverbank reflection. And as the tree exits, use this reddy brown, exits the dark riverbank through that yellow, little touches of red along the trunk. It's very pale yellow here until we hit the canopy, and we can add some hints of this red again. And we're back to following those hints of branch action. Okay, and then tree 6, a few touches of red in the water. Almost nothing in this area because it's predominantly blue. Some little flecks of red on the tree trunk, especially here as we approach the bright yellow canopy, and even in the bright yellow canopy. And then tree trunk splits, 1, 2, 3, and let's have a hint of a branch in there and in there. Okay, very last tree, just 1 or 2 hints of red, reddy brown. Nothing much in this area, but tiny bit of red in the reflection on the riverbank, very bottom of the tree trunk. We have a patch, we jump, a patch, we jump, and this tree trunk splits here in the middle of the very light canopy in the distance. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then we can have 2 or 3 hints of branch up in that canopy there. Okay, now let's move on to our yellows. So I'm actually going to use number 7 pale brown for the base of my lighter trunks. Just going to peel that back a bit. There we go. So number 7 pale brown. See number 7? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to have some horizontal stabbies in my reflections, both sides of the reflection of tree number 1. Okay, there's not really very much light on tree number 1. We have just a little bit here at the bottom of the canopy. Just have a few hints there that tree trunk is catching the light. And on the branch branches. Well, there's a tiny bit more in the canopy on the main trunk. And we'll have a little on the branch suggestions. There we go. Okay, all right, tree number 2. So we've got a few horizontals at either side. Nice flat strokes, just small, inclined, stabby motion. Okay, right, we're rising up. We're going to have some purple in here later. Come through the canopy, just 1 or 2 hints there. Actually, you can put some pale brown into the canopy section, the yellows. Okay, right, back onto the tree trunk. So I'm just going to give this a tap off. Go. How's that? Okay, tree number 2. So the pale parts begin just here. So I'm now just joining up the gaps I left. So where I see a patch of light on the original, for example here, where the upper trunk splits into 2, we have nice light, very broken. Okay, back down the trunk. Just getting some crumbs of red in the sky, which we don't really want, but we can fix that later. Some smudging. Right. Okay, so tree 1 and 2 are done. Tree 3, 2, 3. Again, a few horizontals in here, both sides of the reflection. Bottom bit is mostly red. Comes out of the canopy, a couple of patches, and then when we get to about halfway, we can see it starts to catch the light. Joining up between our red sections. Bend it back. And then just following those hints of branches. Where we had our thick chicken's foot there, it's now being refined. Some hints of branches. Again, this area, if I want to refine even further, what I'll use is a sky blue to make sure that my branches are nice and thin and it appears that I can see through. Okay, so we've done tree 1, 2 and 3. So now we're moving on to 4. So down in the water. Just a few sideways strikes. So what we've got are pinky orange reflections in between the main reflections. Okay, so the middle tree. Just blending and striking up to this point. This is where it becomes much lighter. We're actually going to go over this with a yellow. We're just building the body of the tree. That one splits into 3. 2, 3. along those branches. Okay, we'll come back with a yellow for that one, and same again on tree 4. A few sideways, tree 5, beg your pardon. So this is quite dark here. A few strikes with the pale brown, just as we approach the bottom of the riverbank. We got a couple of dots of light along the tree trunk. It's mostly blues and purples and reds down here. Just as we're beginning to exit the canopy, we have some hints of light, and then we have a very light patch here, coming in shadow just below the canopy, and then splits to hints of branches. Tree 6. So we have a fair bit of that pale brown, pinky pale brown in that gap. Sideways strikes, slight angle, making sure that we are not going straight up and down, but actually inflecting horizontally. And we want a few strikes in our glowing tree. Okay, and also in this area just above the riverbank bushes. So coming up here, we have got a tree trunk that leans in and then straightens up. And the same here. Little clusters of pink, that's pale brown, and then we have a very thin into the tree trunk, and the same in this gap here. A few pale brown strikes in there, just to line it. Just controlling that red where it got too bright. So attacking in little clusters, nice broken cluster of strikes. Same in gap number 2, just controlling that intensity of the red with my pale brown, just knocking it out. Still retains some. And then we're into gap number 1 where we have that ring, and we have 2 tree trunks in the distance. We actually have a shadow here, a blue center. Okay. Now using that pale brown, I'm going to scatter the top canopy, changing angles as I go left and right. So I'm slowly building up the leaves. I've pre-painted the sky, so now I'm doing little clusters of pale brown. Again, where I've got some construction lines that I can still see and don't want, or where I've got little patches of white sky that I don't want, I can do a little cluster attack.